If you're here as a visitor this morning, I want to make sure you are welcomed if you're watching online, and I trust that we probably do have a few people at least watching online this morning. I want to make sure that you feel seen and welcomed here. We are going to be working with the Ruth text this morning. This is a very popular and timeless book, and I thought it would make whatever Series V was doing with you, it would make a good stand-in because you can pretty much study Ruth apart from any kind of series. It's one of only 3 books in the Hebrew Bible named for a woman, and the only book named for a non-Jewish character. Not only is this book popular with Christians, it is also popular with our Jewish siblings. They read Ruth, the whole book of Ruth, during their holiday, the Shabbat, which is the holy day that celebrates the gift of the Torah at Mount Sinai. So there are no evil people in the book of Ruth. That's one of the things we kind of like about it. There's only good, better, and best. And what makes it a favorite for a lot of people is that once you get past the dark and gloomy first chapter, it reads pretty much like a Nicholas Sparks novel. So you've got some romance, you've got a happy ending, and all the rest. Unfortunately, we are going to cover the dark and the gloomy chapter first today. So let's just dive in and read it together. This is Ruth chapter 1, verses 1 through 18, and I am reading from the New Revised Standard Version. In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land. And a certain man of Bethlehem in Judah went to live in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. The name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi, and the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem in Judah, and they went into the country of Moab and remained there. But Elimelech, the husband of Naomi, died, and she was left with only her 2 sons. These took Moabite wives, and the name of one was Orpah and the other Ruth. And when they had lived there for about 10 years, both Mahlon and Chilion also died, so that the woman was left without her 2 sons and her husband. And then she started to return with her daughters-in-law from the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab that the Lord had considered his people and given them food. So she set out from the place where she had been living, she and her 2 daughters-in-law, and they went on their way to go back to the land of Judah. But Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law along the way, "Go back, each of you, to your mother's house. May the Lord deal kindly with you as you have dealt with the dead and with me. The Lord grant that you may find security, each of you, in the house of your husband." And then she kissed them, and they wept aloud. They said to her, "No, we will return with you to your people." But Naomi said, "Turn back, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Do I still have sons in my womb that they may become your husbands? No, turn back, my daughters. For I am too old to have a husband, and even if I thought there was hope for me, Even if I should have a husband tonight and bear sons, would you then wait until they were grown? Would you then refrain from marrying? No, my daughters. It has been far more bitter for me than for you, because the hand of the Lord has turned against me. Then they wept aloud again. Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye, but Ruth clung to her. So she said, "Look, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her gods. Return after your sister-in-law." But Ruth said, "Do not press me to leave you, to turn back from following you. For where you will go, I will go. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people will be my people, your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried." May the Lord do thus to me and more as well, if even death parts me from you. And when Naomi saw that she was determined to go with her, she said no more. May God add a blessing to the reading and the hearing of God's holy word. I'm going to give you a thing I've been warned not to say to congregations, but I like to say this. I must say this. I feel called to say this almost every time I speak. I believe that not all Scripture is meant for all people at all times, in all places. But I believe that this story speaks directly to me and to you at this very moment. Even so, I'm going to encourage you to run it through your own theological lens and decide what the story of Ruth means for you. So this is my takeaway, but it does not have to be yours. We can learn a lot about a text just by understanding its genre. And to that end, I want to suggest that Ruth is not a chronological telling of the Israelite history. Instead, we ought to think of it as a play performed for the Israelites for a given purpose. And one of the ways that we can tell this is by looking at the names of the characters, all of which have symbolic meaning. I have a friend in New York who's a pastor, and he says, the entire Bible is true, and some of it even happened. And this is one of those cases. This is a play, a story that was told to the Israelites at a certain point in their history. So, for example, the symbolic names, Elimelech in Hebrew means God is my king. But see, Elimelech takes his family far from the land where they are blessed by the true and living God and enters Moab. Now, this is a place that is known for idolatry and polytheism. It's enemy territory for the Israelites. And then he stays there for 10 years that we know of. This Jewish family leaves Bethlehem in Judah because of a famine there. Now, in Hebrew, the name Bethlehem